Hello, everyone. I've had so much fun reading your comments. Today, we're going to look at 3 die cutting techniques that may be new to you, and they are super fun. So I cannot wait to share them with you. I am here in Tennessee. I saw we had Canada. I think we had, I see Illinois. I saw Florida, California. So we got lots of people here. Make sure that you hit the thumbs up when you get in here. And if this is your first time in the stream, put some emojis or a thumbs up in the comments so we can see that you're new, and we're so glad to have you here. So let me flip my screen so you can look at what we're going to be making today. I've got 3 cards for you. We're going to try to get through all 3 of them. We've got a fun fold, we have a shaker card, and we have one that we worked on the die cuts with some stencils and other things to just create a cool die cut look. So we will flip over the camera really quick. Let me do this and get my face back up in the side. It takes me just a second. Okay, so here we go. So today we are here with Paper Tray Ink. I see Nancy out there. Hey, Nancy. Hey, Patty. I am so glad to have all of you here. We have their new release, and of course it's going to be leaning towards, we're going to make some Easter cards. We're going to make some get well cards that have some of their faith-based words in them. We're going to look at a couple cards and see if we get to these 2. I am dying over this chicken. If y'all have seen that on social media, I am getting so many compliments on this chicken, and I have so many friends who have chickens who I think would look super, super cute. So let me kind of show you these individually. We will probably start, I'm going to start a little different than usual. I think I'm going to start with a fun fold. So y'all, this is our shaker card. We're going to look at this one. I think we're going to start with our fun fold, which this is going to go to one of our community members. I am not going to say her name, but we've got one who's struggling with a big surgery coming up, and she loves this paper tray, so I'm going to send her a card. So we'll be making that specifically for her. This card opens up and shows all of this awesomeness. This is so hard to show on social media because when you take the picture, it's usually flat. But this is a really fun opening card with not a whole lot of extra bulk that will be easy for you to mail. So we're going to look at that one. We're probably not going to make this today, but I did want to point out a few things. This is the new collection. It's Cookie Swap Spring. So if you've been with Paper Tray for a while, you know they have these cute Cookie Swap dies, and they did some spring ones. And so for these, I just used a lot of their amazing cardstock. If you haven't seen Paper Tray cardstock, they have so many colors. So I just grabbed lots of fun colors and really played with that cardstock in this one. They also have some great pattern paper, and I added a little bit of glittery texture to these. I would like to know in the comments, what's your favorite way to add glitter to die cuts? Because I will say this way definitely was not my favorite, and I'm looking for a new way. So tell me some suggestions in the comments. Yes, everybody seems to be obsessed with this rooster. He is so cute. Oh my goodness, he's so cute. Okay, so this one, if we get to it in time, we will do this one. We're going to start with our fun fold, and then we're going to go through the shaker card, and we will finish up with the rooster card. Okay, so this one is kind of a continuation. If you saw my last live stream, sorry, I see a couple people having some problems. We'll see what she's got. If you saw my last live stream, I did all nesting dies, and I did different ways to use nesting dies. And when I was playing around with that, I really love Paper Tray's nesting dies, and I thought, I'm going to make a fun fold, and I'm going to try to make the fun fold with the nestings dies. So let me show you what I used on this card. Let's set our cards aside, and we are going to look at the Elegant Points. See how it has 3 different nesting dies? I'm going to use, this is the new Corinthians, 1 Corinthians thing. It says, and God raised the Lord and will also raise us up by his power. So I'm putting this in this get well card because I'm trying to encourage this person. She's got a big surgery coming up, and I thought that was a great verse. I also am going to use the new This is called Praying for You Sentiments 2. They have a Sentiments 1, and I know those are a little bit hard to see, but we're going to use this on this card as well. And you'll see that we're keeping it pretty simple and mainly focusing on our nesting dies, because this is just a really fun way to create a quick, easy card that's more than just a flat card. Okay, so have y'all got, I think that some people were having trouble with the stream, but hopefully you've got it figured out. So this is called Paper Tray Elegant Points. We're gonna use these colors. Sorry, I'm gonna get out some colors. So this is a, you'll see that this is a double-sided cardstock from Paper Tray. We're gonna use the beautiful purple, and it matches really well with Lilac Grace, which is one of their purple cardstocks. And so I'm gonna use both of these, and we're going to create that card because I love just an all purple card. It's super fun, lots of fun. All right, so yes, Nancy said she will love it. Yes, we've got that friend in there. So if ever y'all are going through or struggling and I'm making cards, just let me know. I love sending out get well cards and encouragement cards to people who are following and watching. Thanks so much. Okay, let me see. Tell me if you use die cuts every week or if it's more of a rare thing for you. So put weekly or rare. And with this one, I'm only going to use 2 of the nesting dies because you could add this third one if you want, but I liked just having 2 flaps and I didn't want to make the card too bulky. So we're going to cut out the larger one from our Lilac Grace. Oh, good. I see lots of weekly die cut users. I understand that for sure. So I am going to get out my die cutting machine. Our first larger one is going to come from the purple paper. We're going to add some details to these, but we're going to keep it pretty simple. And I'm going to show you how I assembled this just using a, what is that called? Scoreboard. Sorry, using the scoreboard. Oh, I see Daily out there. Okay, a couple of rare die users. Okay, great. I love dies as well. They're super fun and easy to use. You do need a die cutting machine. That's the only thing. If you don't have a die cutting machine, that could limit your ability. And Paper Tray has lots of really cool shapes that you just don't see in other places. So look at how beautiful that is around the edges. It's got these nice little dots, super cute. Now let's cut out our second one, and then I'm going to go over some of these stamps and we'll do a little bit of stamping. So this one I'm going to use the pattern paper, and I'm going to cut that out of a separate piece. So I'm going to trim this real quick. It's perfectly fine, and we're glad to have you here. The other question I was wondering too, while we're getting started on this fun fold, is where did you see my content first? As I grow as a creator, I'm trying to really narrow down what makes the most sense to keep putting my efforts into. And so I'd love to know, was it Instagram? Was it YouTube? Was it Facebook? How did you find me here? Just let me know, even if it was years and years ago. I'd just love to hear where you first saw my content. I'll let y'all answer that. I'm going to see if there's some interesting ones. Was it at a summit? Was it on a design team? You know, that kind of thing. Okay, I see YouTube. Good. Good to know. Summit for Nancy. I think I remember which summit Nancy was at. Rose is YouTube. Okay. Okay, summits first. Awesome. Okay, here's what I would like to know too, because I'm putting so much effort into Instagram and Facebook, and I'm trying to kind of put more effort into spending more time with you on YouTube. So tell me, if it was Instagram or Facebook, which one you are most likely to look at. Okay, so that's our second die, and I don't know if you can see those cute little dots around the edge. I'm going to really emphasize those with some ink blending. So we're going to use Pixie Dust, which is a Catherine Pooler ink, and I'm going to go around these edges here. Let me see where I put my inks. Pixie dust is just a purple ink, and it's what I had available real quick. So we're going to use that with an ink blending tool, and we're just going to go around the edges. We're going to keep it pretty simple, and we're going to make this adorable card. So I'm going to go ahead and ink blend the edges of everything with purple. So I'm going to put everything on here. We'll see if we can fit it all on my sticky mat. Might need to organize it differently. Okay, so Instagram first. I think that's the first person I saw. I saw 1, 2, 3 that were Instagram first. Okay, good. Well, at least somebody's looking at Instagram. If you haven't seen my Instagram, please do. It's very helpful. All right. Okay, so I'm going to be using this is Pixie Dust, and let me move this down. Sorry, I zoomed in my camera, and so sometimes I have to adjust my mat. Pixie Dust, we're just going to use a small brush and go around the edges. And that's just to give it, you'll see, it just gives it a little bit of depth. And so I'm just going around each of these edges, and I'm going to fold it here. So I actually don't even have to do this side of any of them. So while I do that, let me see. Yeah, I saw, okay, so Beth says, yeah, that she got started, she lost her mojo during COVID. Yeah, I'm glad that you got back and are getting to do some creative things now. It really is, in a way, a therapy. Yeah, Arlene, yeah. Yeah, my mat is so stained, and purple, if anything's going to stain your mat, just if it worries you at all, it doesn't bother me, but if it worries you, purples and reds are going to stain your mat more than anything else. So I do try, if I get a brand new clean one, to keep the purples and the reds off of it, because it leaves a mark no matter how fast you clean it. So I'm going to go along this edge too. You can see it a little bit better on this purple. Yes, thank you. And I also wanted to see too, how many of you are making Easter cards? Do you make Easter cards for your kids, grandkids? I bet that there are some really cool ideas out there. So I'm hoping to hear if y'all are making Easter cards or what you put in Easter baskets, mainly because I need some ideas. I've got 2 teenage boys, and we're getting Easter baskets ready. It seems like it's sneaking up on me super fast. So I want to make sure I've got some ideas. So feel free to put that in the chat as well. Yeah, it is why you need 2 mats. And if somebody wants to see the difference in a mat that I've used red on and a mat that's clean, here's the difference. So this one you can tell I accidentally used some red on it because it's got a little bit of pink on it. But do you see the difference in that color? So it never hurts, if it bothers you for it to be pink, to use a different mat or not ink blend with purples and reds on there. It still works for its purpose. It's just if you like how it looks. Yes, good. So y'all are making some Easter cards. Somebody says they have trouble gluing some of their small die cuts. I'll show you a couple things that I do with that. It definitely helps to have a really fine tip glue. And we actually did some experiment in a live stream with some sponges and some different ways. And I think they all work pretty similar, but you can definitely try some different little devices to get get die cuts to stick. My sticky mat is an Altenew sticky mat, and I'm going to add just a little bit around this one too. So let's go here. I think I probably need to refill my purple a little bit. Oh, nice. Nancy said she made some pop-up cross cards. I do want to show you a couple of things of if you're looking at buying anything for Easter from Paper Tray. I want to show you my favorite set of theirs, and I do have a whole video on it, but it is one of the best Easter sets that I have seen, and I thought about using it in this live stream, but I went with the cookie cutters instead. But I want to show you that to you, because if you're looking for something, even if it's for next year, this is my favorite set. It's called Big Easter Sentiments. You see how it has this cross too? And then it has, you can buy the stencil, and it makes some beautiful cards, so definitely do that. So can you use a soft toothbrush to do your ink blending? I have not tried that. I would assume that your soft, I don't know how it would hold. I feel like the bristles of a toothbrush may be a little bit more synthetic. This is more like a makeup brush. So you could use a makeup brush. You could use a sponge. You could even just take the ink pad and kind of go around the edges and then blend it with a little sponge. Either of those would be fine. So do you see the difference in how having that, I know with the bright lights it may not be obvious, but you see how that brings out all of that little detail. If you just add a little bit of ink blending, it doesn't have to be much, but it makes a huge wow. A huge wow. So let me get some more ink down here and tell me, I haven't seen, did I see anybody tell me what they're doing? Do you make Easter baskets for anyone? And if you do, what do you put in them? I would like some ideas. Okay, we're almost done here, and I'm not gonna go crazy and really get this super dark, but I like that there is a nice definition to the paper when you do this. I love this beautiful, you know what? So on pattern paper, this is gonna be this way versus this way. Probably if I'd recut that, I would have made it the same. Does that bother anybody? You okay if your flowers are going a different direction? If you're not, I'll grab another one. I don't think you're gonna notice once we put everything there together. Let me grab my beautiful, or my wonderful scoring board, and let me show you how I put this card together, and then we'll do all the stamping on it. So we started with this as the base. Oh, nice. I love these ideas for Easter. So do you see what I mean? When I cut this out, I cut it in a direction that's not the same as the front. So when I did my original one, we did it in the same direction. I don't think you're gonna notice, and I'm gonna keep it that way for the live now, just so that we don't have to do any more ink blending. But I think that is kind of one of those things that's up to you. So I'm gonna go ahead and lay these out like this. Let me grab my scoreboard. And we'll look at how we did this. And we're just doing flaps today. So it's like a fun fold with flaps. And I'm gonna show you how you can do it with any die cut that you have. So what I did, I like my points to line up right here. So I want to keep that where that works. And then what I did is I scooted it off the page so that I knew that it would still fold even with those lined up. So you'll see me kind of mess with how far I'm gonna have it go off the page. I like that because it gives me a nice fold here and it gives me a good fold right there. So you want to think about where your score lines are going to be and make sure you can fold it. All right. So here's about where I'm going to go. And I know I'm just holding it here. I like to kind of look at it, and this has dots in it. So I also can kind of know from the dots as to where I'm going to go. But if you can make a little preview here, then you can take these off. You've got your line there, and you can remove this piece and look at your line again. So I'm going with this line, make sure I've got everything even, and I'm just gonna hold on to it and go down my scoreboard. So I know that's going over double things, but this is to get my line straight. Make sure I got my line straight, which is a little hard when you're doing two. Okay, then you can go back and make your line a little bit better on the first one. See how we got our nice straight line here? Okay, and then I can do the same thing on this one and make sure I've got a good line here, which starts right about here. Seeing if I've got it even. Okay, and I got my line there. So let's make sure that lines up and gives us a good point in the middle. It does. See how the points line up so that you're not like this or like this. It just looks neater. Yes, a silicone baking mat works well. The difference in a sticky mat and the silicone baking mat is just how much it sticks. So you might need to use some tape to a silicone mat. Do you have trouble with it sticking, or does it actually stick? I think that's Bev, to that silicone mat without you doing anything. So let's fold and get our folds here. I'm going to make them straight by pressing on them. And then I'm going to double check my lineup. See how those points still match? So now I can go ahead, make sure I've got this one nice and flat. The other thing that I did with this is that I made sure to leave enough room to put my adhesive here. So I'm going to put adhesive only on this part so that our flaps open. I love the curvy borders. So let me get some double-sided adhesive. I have different sizes of this, so I'm going to use the 1/4 of an inch right here. Okay, we're going to go inside this little ledge. And you really only need one piece. And then on this one, you could either use a thicker one, which I think I do have. Let me use the thicker one. I'm going to use a thicker double-sided adhesive. You could do this with glue, but it takes a little while to dry, and it's a little easier to me to use a double-sided adhesive. So I'm going to cut that. See, do we have any questions? Yeah, great. Old Cricut mats do work well. So my problem with old Cricut mats, and tell me if you've solved this issue, is that they're on that sticky stuff on the sides, and when I want to ink blend, sometimes I get that stickiness from the Cricut mat onto my brush, and it gets a little bit yucky on my brush. Have you had that trouble? Whoever uses Cricut mats instead of the more like the Altenew sticky mat? All right, and if you haven't done it yet, hit the thumbs up. Make sure that you're following me on this channel. We've got adhesive on both of these, and yes, I'm going to go ahead and glue them to this card, then I'm gonna stamp. You can stamp first, but to me, it's easier to make sure you hide the layers, to go ahead and have them on here, then do my stamping. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. We'll start with our first one. I'm gonna use this grid on my mat to help me line this up so that it's the center of the card. Yeah, so Rachel, you see what I mean? It gets, sometimes the sticky from the Cricut mat gets on my brush and it makes it kind of gunky and it leaves streaks. Oh, that's fine. Joyce, that's funny, watching from the car. I'm glad you're not driving. Good job. You knew we were going to be like, oh no, don't be driving and watching. Okay, so I'm going to peel this off. Tell me, do you own nesting dies? And nesting dies, really just the definition of nesting dies is that they have the same shape repeated in different sizes. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, a nesting die, kind of think of it as like continuously decreasing or increasing in size, and the shapes match up so that they fit inside each other and they could stack or nest. So tell me, do you own those? Okay, so I'm going to try to line this up right in the middle. See how this is my middle line right here, right there? I'm going to try to line up this part in that middle. No promises that I'm perfect, but I'm going to try to do it just by holding it here. I think that's about right. Right there. And then I'm going to, probably with the tweezers because I can't get my fingernail into there, going to pick this up. Try to keep it, and then bend over my sticky part. You see that? So now we have a flap. Yes, I have a lot of nesting dies too. For some reason, they just speak to me. I love them. I love all the different shapes, and I love the versatility of them. They're great for sentiments. They're great for so many things. So once you make that fold, you can now go back in and do your second one. So we're going to use this one, and what the name of this one is called Elegant Points, but Paper Tray has tons and tons of nesting dies, and they have some of the best shapes that I have seen. So I'm just evening this up, making sure my points line up, and then I'm gonna fold this over again. Okay, now we've got our stacked card. Boom, boom. Oh, thanks, Joy. So here and here. If you were worried about this being orange, you could always double-side it and make it the purple. I wasn't super worried about that because you don't really see it from the front, and orange and purple look great together. So that's how it's gonna look. Let's go ahead and get our stamping done. Let me show you what I did. We're gonna use these sentiments first. And I'm probably gonna go on my big stamp wheel. I don't always have to use the big stamp wheel. It's not a huge card, but it gives me a little bit of room to open up my flaps. And I like that I can put it right in the corner and be sure that I'm pretty even on that. So we're gonna use two different sentiment sets. We're gonna use our scripture, which we're gonna use the 1 Corinthians one. I believe this is the new one. Oh, yay, somebody says purple's their favorite color. Well, this is the card for you. And so I'm going to set this stamp up and then make sure that it is hidden behind my flap. So I'm gonna set that right there. Hang on. And then I'm gonna close my flap carefully and just make sure the words will stay hidden. See how we can't see any part of that stamp? Yeah, so now we can do this. Hey, there's Marisha. Got it. Okay, so I'm gonna put that down, pick up my stamp, and I'm just gonna do it in a really dark black, which is one of my favorite colors, VersaFine Nocturne. You could do this in heat embossing. You could do all kinds of things. I just like the black being very simple against the busy background. So let me get this inked up. I'm gonna stamp it a couple of times. It looks like I got my card stuck to it a little bit. Hang on. Make sure I got that down. And then we'll just stamp it. Okay. Let's give it a good press. Yeah, this one's Reflections, 1 Corinthians 6:14. And this, like I said, this card is for someone who is going to be having a big surgery and she's a little down and worried about all the rehab. And so I thought the whole raise us up reminds her, you know, that you're good. We're going to, even when we're down, we will be raised up. Okay, so I'm going to put this in here. Yeah, if you've got a ton of nesting dies, Gina, then you need to see my last live stream, add it to this live stream. You're going to get them out and use them for all kinds of things. So I'm just going to leave it like this. I'm going to fan it a little bit, get my stamp cleaned off while it dries, and then we're going to stamp the next layer. And then we'll use a die on the front that's really fun. And we'll layer that and add a little bit of gold. So see how this covers it up? It's like a little hidden flap. How beautiful is that? So pretty. No worries if you're late to the party. We're having live giveaways. We're having replay giveaways. There will be a replay immediately after on YouTube. So don't worry, you can always catch it from the beginning if you need to. We're starting with a fun fold, and then we're going shaker card, and then we're going to do some stenciling and play with the cute chicken card that I did. Alrighty, so I'm going to remove this and we'll put it up, and then we're going to use I think these are called Praying for You Sentiments Collection 2. So this will go here, and we got lots of options. So for this specific card, because it is for somebody in our community who's got a big surgery coming up and she's worried, I thought that the faith over fear would be nice. Prayer over worry would be very fitting for this card. So that's the one that I use. So once you've given that time to dry, which sometimes I just check with my finger, it is dry, which is good, we can go ahead and start lining up this stamp. And you just want to make sure you close it. See how this is a little bit longer stamp? You just need to scoot it towards the inside to make sure you got it completely covered. And then we will pick it up with the stamp wheel again. Okay, so I'm getting that as close to the edge as I can just to make sure the flap covers it up. So when y'all were saying I own too many to count on the nesting dies, I was wondering if anybody's ever counted their dies. Like, how many dies do you have? I think that I could be in the hundreds for sure. So I'm going to use the same ink, and we're going to stamp this in black. You could, there are some cute new stencils, and you could do some stenciling around this, but I like that it covers it up. If I keep it pretty simple, it covers this up so you can't see that it's necessarily a flap until you're stamping it. One thing to hold this down, you could use a little bit of washi tape or any type of tape you got. I'm just going to grab a smidge of washi tape and hold the edge down, just kind of like this, okay? And that way when I stamp, it won't be flying up. Okay, so you line up your stamp wheel and press this down. Okay. Yeah. I know, I love dies. Let's not count them, I guess. We don't want to make ourselves upset, do we? Be like, not that it makes us upset, it just makes us say, oh my goodness, we need to use those dies more. Okay, so right here. Hey, Arlene, I know you're in East Tennessee. Did you go to the Scrapping in the City sale? Having a big garage sale in Knoxville today. It's not a garage sale. It's like a scrapbook store sale that they do consignment. Look at how good that looks. Yes. Arlene says we don't need that kind of pressure counting our dies. Whatever you do, don't tell your husband or anybody else how many dies you have. That would definitely not be good. It's the don't ask, don't tell for the husbands and people who are checking to see what we've got here. Oh my goodness. Don't ask, don't tell how many dies you have. This was Arlene's going with. Okay, so we got faith over fear. Now I can remove this little piece, and we're going to use a die cut on the front. So we got faith over fear, prayer over worry, and then we've got our beautiful 1 Corinthians verse here. Look at how nice that is. Yeah, Chrissy, if you want, so what I was saying is if you are local to East Tennessee, there is a garage sale or yard sale, whatever you want to call it, at the local scrapbook store, and it is crazy. Like, you will wait in line, but if you're going to do it, it's Saturday and Sunday. I think it might start tonight, actually. Okay, so now I'm going to use, let's see where that die is. This one's called like Line It Up, and it has these words. I will say this one is out of stock right now, but it has the word faith on a line like this, and I'm just going to cut the word out and then trim off my line, and I'm going to cut it out of two things. We're going to use, we'll set this aside, we're going to use gold and a dark purple behind it to give it a little bit of a shadow. When you're doing a word die like this on busy paper, sometimes you need a shadow behind it. So this will be my shadow, this beautiful purple metallic. And then I'm going to use this pack of gold that I have. I'm going to try to use this more matte gold just because it looks better. It's easier to see on camera. So we'll use this matte gold here. So matte gold and purple, great combos. Now, if you're looking for the actual double-sided cardstock that I use, this is what it's called. It's Paper Tray Inks, and it's Share Your Heart. It's got lots of these colors. We're going to use several of these colors today in our cards. Yeah, gold and purple are always good together. They're always good together. And it's like, I don't know. To me, it's a good Easter thing, too. So I'm going to cut out the faith part out of purple, and we're going to cut it out of gold. Let me see if I've got some more questions. If you haven't hit the like or the thumbs up, make sure you do that real quick. That helps people find this video later. Like I was asking you how you found me, it helps people find the video later. And half of the battle of YouTube and being a content creator is for people just to be able to find you, you know? So if you can't be found, then they can't see your content. So that is so helpful if y'all will hit the thumbs up while you're here. We're going to cut this out. And then Add it. So I have also, I don't know if you have an Anna Griffin die cutting thing. This side was getting a little bit rough, so I actually flipped my magnet over and it seems like it's working pretty well. So I don't know if you want to get extra mileage out of your magnetic mat, but flipping it over seems like it's working fine. Speaking of paper, I love organizing paper. And so, just FYI, soon, can't tell you all the details, but soon I've got a summit coming up that's all organization. And I'll be doing some live organizing. I'll be doing a craft room tour, that kind of stuff. So just stay tuned. I will be sending out things to sign up. Please wait for me to sign up for that. If you see it come out from any other person, if you'll wait for me, that would help me out. It'll be at the end of April. Can't sign up for it yet. Okay, so look at this. Look at how beautiful that purple is. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's cut it out of gold. And I'm cutting, I might even go here. I'm cutting this out because this is a matte gold. If you send it through your die cutting machine, you sent this whole page, it really gets like impressions from your die cutting machine on it. So sometimes you'll get like little impressions where you accidentally cut into the plate, or if you do regularly cut into the plate. If I put that whole sheet through there, I'm gonna get some impressions on the rest of the paper. And to me, that drives me crazy with gold. Drives me crazy. So I cannot handle it. And so that's why I cut these pieces out, is because I don't want to mess up all around this in a big piece of paper and have it not seem usable to me. Granted, it's usable, but I get it. I get a little annoyed by it. Yes, heads up on the organization summit coming soon. Okay, so let's cut that out, and then we're going to stack these. Yes, organizing is super fun. So if you just joined in and you haven't answered yet, I'd love to know where you saw my content first. Was it YouTube, Instagram, Facebook? Just let me know in the comments. I'm going to be looking back at those just to get an idea of where everyone is coming from, to help me manage my time a little bit better and put it where it needs to go. Because I'm doing this all by myself, and thank goodness for Rachel's help with the moderating, but sometimes I feel like I might need an assistant or something, and I just want to make sure that I'm using my time wisely, so that I'm still have a family life and a balance, but also am reaching as many people as possible. So that helps me out a lot. Okay, so here's that die. It's called Line It Up Faith. Okay, that one is out of stock right now, but she is getting more. Okay, good. Oh, really? Interesting, Paula. It came through your Gmail. That's interesting. Okay, so let's line these two up. This can be a little bit tricky, so I'm going to show you what I do. I know this is a metallic paper, but I'm going to use little dots of glue so that I can move this how I want the shadow. Let me put a white piece of paper underneath it so that you can see what I'm doing. I think that'll make it a little easier for you to see. So I'm going to flip over our gold, and I'm going to add just teeny dots of glue. And this is one that I use a lot. I've started using some of the Gina K glue as well, but the tip on my Barely Arts is a little bit smaller, so I'm able to get smaller dots with this. Not so much that like there's such a difference in the glue, it's the tip that I really love. Oh, good job, creativity from Blueberry Hill. She said she's doing a massive craft organization right now. Well, I think the actual summit is April 26th, I think, is my presentation and my day of live stream. So just put it on your calendar if you need to, and we will talk about it soon, and can't sign up for it just yet. Okay, so I'm just adding little dots on this. It really does not take much, just teeny dots. You could use a sponge or a silicone. So there's different ways to apply glue. This one has been a fun one for me, especially if you got a big blob. I just cut up a piece of sponge and add glue to it. That's worked really well. Good afternoon, Frida. Glad to have you. We are working on a fun fold and we're layering some beautiful words first. Where is that glue sold? So Barely Art Paper Tray, do you have Barely Art in stock too? Do you sell this glue? I'm gonna let her listen for a second and see if she answers. If not, it's sold at most of the craft stores. I would say scrapbook.com, maybe Simon Says Stamp. I think Honeybee Stamp sells it. Oh yeah, I'm interested to hear that too, that she's donating her craft supplies that she's cleaned out. I'd love to hear where those are going. So here's what I'm doing. Can you see that I've got my Faith? I'm just following the shadow. My shadow goes to the side and a little bit up to the top. So let's see if you can see that. You see how I shadowed it and just kind of moved it around? The other place you can donate supplies, if it's not too complicated to use and you don't need a lot of products, you can donate them to, a lot of times, a local nursing home, but it just needs to be stuff that's not hard on their hands, you know, like not little teeny tiny dies and things. That's helpful if they, because then they can make cards, especially if it's like paper. That's awesome. Okay, so here's our little sentiment. Let's put it on our card. So yes, it's going to be too long, but don't worry, I'm going to trim off those edges. Look at how beautiful that looks. Oh, I love it. Oh, thank you, Carla. That's no problem. You can always watch the replay and catch up. The precision tip is awesome. Do not lose this pin. If you lose this pin, your precision tip is a problem. And I always say buy the extra little set of the pins. So just FYI, they sell these pins. Here's what I do with mine while I'm standing here. I used to just throw it in my mouth, which is terrible. I have these magnets that go with a glass mat under here. And so I just drop it on the magnet and that's how I keep up with it all the time. So I keep that magnet on the glass mat that's underneath this and it works great. So I'm just gonna add some little dots here along our Faith thing and try to catch up on the comments, see if there's anything I need to answer. That's fine, Michelle. We're glad to have you. We've got live giveaways. We got replay giveaways. We're doing a fun fold card right now, and then we're going to do a fun shaker card, and we're going to try to get through our adorable Rooster card. We'll see how we do. Sometimes things go faster than you think, and sometimes they go slower. So we'll just see how it works. So here it is. I've got a little glue on the back. I am going to use that piece of washi tape again to hold everything down. Just to hold my card down so that I can put this easily. Yes, that's a good idea. I love different shapes of nesting dies as well. So I'm just going to try to line this up pretty even. And I'm going to hold it down till that glue dries. All right, so you see that I've got this coming down. I'm going to make sure it's good and dry. Sorry, my ring's flipping around. Good to know. Thank you so much, Karen. Okay, so I'm going to peel that washi tape off. Key with using washi tape like this. So I have some purple tape, I have some Spellbinders tape, but washi tape works well as a re-stickable, but you want to, before you put it on, check and like get some of the sticky off. That helps it not stick to your actual paper. So I know I'm using something different. So now I've got these couple of edges that I need to trim off. So I'm just going to go along and trim right at the edge. Boom. There we go. Now we got our little card. Let's put all this stuff away. So look at this. So if you pull this out of an envelope, you think you've just got this, but look at what it does. You go faith, and then faith over fear, and then you've got your Bible verse. And you could even add a card base here so that it flips one more time and you can write your information here, or you could add a card base that flips open and you write anything else in there. But sometimes I like for the cards to already be pre-done with a sentiment, so I don't have to come up with much. I can just sign my name right here and be done with it. And that helps me get cards in the mail faster, because if I have to write a big long thing, I send less cards. So just, it's one of those things. It's probably personal preference. Yes. So here it is. We'll look at it a couple more times, and then we're going to start working on our other card that has the shaker, and we're going to use our dies in a different way. So sometimes dies can get a little overwhelming because you have so many little pieces. So on our next one, I'm going to use those little pieces to create something a little bit different. So anybody have questions on this one, or are we good? If you have questions on the products, just put it in the chat. Usually Rachel can answer that. She also has the list of my supplies. Make sure if you're going shopping today that you use those supplies. So it flops open here, here, super easy. We used nesting dies to do this. We used the Paper Tray Elegant Points, and I only used 2 of them. So I just used this size and this one. And then we created our little flap here with some double-sided adhesive, and then it opens. But it's still thin enough because this paper, this double-sided paper here, all of this is pretty thin, probably 80 pounds. So you've got 3 levels of it, but it is definitely a regular envelope size. So it's easy to mail, super great. You could do any kind of sentiments on it that you want. I just wanted to show off some of these new ones. So we'll set this aside. We're going to look at the dies that I created this card with, but we're going to use them in a different way. Let me set aside a few things so that I don't lose anything over here, and we get our next card ready. So our next card is going to use this cardstock, which is another double-sided cardstock from Paper Tray. It's got 2 colors on it. I'm going to use this blue color because I just really love the blue as the background. And we're going to use just a little bit of stamping, but mostly we're going to use die cuts. And we're going to be using these Cookie Swap Spring Die Collection. The reason I picked these dies, so when you're looking at this technique, it's helpful to have open shapes that you can see. Okay, because we're going to make this into a shaker card. So think of things that make a good window. So when I looked at this die set, because it's cookies, it has an outline die and an inside die. So we've got a big rabbit, we've got a small rabbit, we've got the inside of a flower right here, and then the outline of the flower. So these outlines are really what gets a lot of, you can see some visibility of what your cute little shaker mix is. And it just gives you some ideas to create a really fun front of a card. This one's going to take us just a little bit of time to line it up and die cut it, but I'm going to show you how I decided where to put these die cuts. I decided I would stick with 3, and I would just rearrange the order of those 3. So I'm going to use the 3 largest because I wanted to be able to see my shaker mix underneath it. So when you are doing die cuts and you're making just a die cut intricate card like this, do you tend to use pattern paper, or do you use white paper and use ink blending? I'd love to hear what your favorite way to use it is. So we're going to use these 3, and we're going to rotate the order of them so it looks like we're using a lot of different ones. So it looks like we use 9 different dies, but really I'm just rotating the order of these 3 dies. Super cute. Okay. I'm going to be using this set to stamp our sentiment, and these are tiny, but they work perfect for this card, this Happy Easter, and we're going to use a couple little things here. So I'm going to keep this close because I need to leave enough space in between my die cutting to be able to fit this sentiment, and this is from Tears of Cheer Easter. So let's see, y'all. Okay, so people say they use both pattern paper. Some people do white card and then they color those cuts. Good to know. Do you even do ink blending if it's a colored cardstock? Or do you tend to just keep it that cardstock and go there? Okay, here's how we're gonna start. I'm gonna use my grid mat and this so that I can line things up. I know about where center is, so I'm gonna make myself a little mark of center, and I'm gonna use a pencil to do that. Hopefully I stuck one over here. If I didn't, I did not stick a pencil over here, so that's okay. We'll use something else. We'll use this washi tape to say this is our center. Okay, so that's our center. Let's make sure we got everything lined up. And the reason that I want to know center is because sometimes it's easier to start in the center. Okay, so if you want to start in the center of your card, sometimes that just makes it easier. I don't know what to tell you, but it just really does make it easier to line these up because we know we want 3 rows. So sometimes having that middle row already done helps me in my card making. Now these are slightly different sizes. So you'll see the bunny's a little bit bigger than the flower, which is a little bit bigger than this. So you do need to kind of adjust a little bit, make sure everything looks right to you, and that you have them pretty lined up. For this first layer, I'm going to carefully, let's see if I can get my piece of tape off. Get my tape off. And then I don't want to have to tape these down, so I am going to carefully pick this up and put it in the die cutting machine. I do have a magnet on here, but sometimes it still wants to move. So you'll see me being very cautious to try to keep my line there. And if you're a little off, you can always trim the paper down. Yes. It's paper tray ink, yes. So we're using paper tray ink. I think somebody was asking that. Yeah, alcohol markers do a great job on those little small dies too. I'm not much of an alcohol colorer. I love how it looks, but I often do ink blending instead. Okay, so here are my first set. Get these out, and then you can keep these cutouts too and use them on a different card. So I have lots of cute little cutouts that I could use on a different card. So we got 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to do our top row, and sometimes I have to adjust and do multiple things because I'm changing up the order. So I'm going to do the flower, and I think I'm going to check my spacing here and make sure that my Easter, Happy Easter fits. So I'm looking through my stamp to make sure I can fit Happy Easter right here. Yep, I can fit it. So that looks about right. Line those up, and then we got another. I'm going to go ahead and do this bottom row. So I'm just mixing up how my dies go. Okay. Carefully removing it. Yeah, I understand. I definitely like doing the blending brush because sometimes I'm not great at coloring. Okay, and we need 3 more, and then we can make our shaker card. Okay, so keeping all these little dies so that I can use them for something else. And we currently have about 3 more spots. So let's line them up carefully. And just trying to keep it pretty even, you know, trying to keep your lines the same. It doesn't always work perfectly, but you can always trim the paper down if you're a little bit off, but this is kind of a grid, and you could take a pencil and line it up if you wanted to. I'm just trying to do it, like I think my bunny's just a little bit taller than this guy, but that guy's also smaller. So I'm gonna just adjust my flower to make that look normal. Okay, look at how cute that is. All right. So how many of you make shaker cards? Say yes or no. Do you make shaker cards? While I send this through. I see somebody's made one, but want to try it again. Ooh, nice, Donna. I have not tried Gamsol. I think that's how you say it. Gamsol. Gamsol. Okay. I need my little tool. All right, it's a little easier to get these. Since this is a magnetic sheet, you can just pull it up, but sometimes they stick to your magnet. Okay, so here is our base. Okay, this is gonna be where we show all of our beautiful color behind it. It's gonna look so cute. Uh-oh, ruh-roh. Let's hope I don't need the egg dye again because I just dropped it. I don't think I need it again. Where did it go? Oh, I see it underneath my table, so hang on. Yeah, Rachel says, whoever uses Gamsol, if you will explain, but basically Gamsol or Gamsol is something that helps you blend colored pencils. It's a liquid, and I think you put it on your colored pencils to help them blend better. I'm gonna reach down and pick up this little egg if I can. Okay, got it. I don't wanna lose my egg. All right, so we're gonna make a shaker card. So if you've never made one, we'll go through it. I'm gonna talk to you about a couple things with this shaker card because you've got some options here. You can have a really tall, free-flowing shaker card. You can have one that doesn't shake quite as much but still gets the effect. It just depends on mailing and what you wanna do. Yes, that's a good idea on the magnetic wand. I wonder if my magnet from here, you know, my magnet from my glass mat, I wonder if that would pick metal off the floor. I bet it would. I need to try that next time. Remind me that, Carrie. All right, so we're gonna be stamping. I'm gonna go ahead and do the window and then we're gonna stamp on it. And that's because I wanna give the stamping a little bit of time to dry. So let's go ahead and add our double-sided adhesive to the back. I am going to use, you can use any kind, but what we're gonna try to do is we're gonna try to build 3 different windows, and you'll see what I mean when I do that. I'm gonna create 3 windows so that you've got more shaker bits per opening, okay? So you could do, so if you see this card, I've got shaker bits in all of these places, and that's because it's 3 separate windows. If this was one window, all my shaker bits would fall down here. So I wanted to make sure that you could see them in each one, especially since I just have a white background. So we're gonna create 3 different windows. That doesn't matter as much when we're just doing our making the front of the window, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm about to add lots of double-sided adhesive, and then we are going to put on a acetate sheet, which I'm just gonna use some pre-cut acetate sheets from scrapbook.com. See, and we'll have to trim it down, but that's what I'm gonna use on this. So you can put it in between, you don't have to, you could just go around the edges. You just wanna make sure that your window stays shut. So we are taping it shut. That's what we're doing. We'll do that in a couple ways. So just remember, windows, if you don't want things to fly out of them, then they better be taped shut. Taped or locked if it was in your house. So pretend like that's what we're doing. We're locking down the window. All right. Yeah, I think Gina K does use Gamsol a decent amount. I've seen her do some coloring with it. I'm sure you can use it with other inks, but I'm not sure. I mean, I get good blends with my inks, so I'm not worried about that. Okay, so there's my double-sided adhesive. I'm going to grab one of these windows. So this is a piece of acetate, which is clear plastic. This is my window, so think of this as my glass. And we are going to assemble this together. So I need to remove all of this double-sided adhesive backing, which is going to require, where did my little sticky tool go? I do not know. I'm going to use these because I can't seem to locate it. Normally I have a little pokey tool that works well for this. Let's remove all of this double-sided adhesive backing so we can stick our window on here. So it's like we've got our frame and we're making our window. Yeah, I love this checkerboard side too. I actually thought about using that. I kind of wish I'd used this yellow checkerboard on the background of my cookie card. I wanted to create some more orange in that card, but I think I might have gone a little too dark with that other one, if you know what I'm talking about. That's okay. I still love it. All right, so let me see. When you do shaker cards, do you tend to do sparkly mixes, or do you do more like a clay mix where you can see the color? This time we're going to use a clay mix, but I'm running low on it, so I think we're going to make our own mix. So I'm going to let y'all give me some input on what I should mix with the clay sprinkles to make this a really cool card, because I only had one little bag of the clay sprinkles that we're going to use and it's almost out. So once I get all this double-sided adhesive off, I'm going to add my acetate window. So let's get, ooh, and it's sticky. You can tell it's sticky. I'm going to put this in the trash so I don't have all this trash over here. Yeah, I love sparkles too. Okay, so this is a piece of plastic, but it's bigger than this. So I'm going to line it up in one corner so I have less to trim off. That's perfectly fine. I know listening and typing is very hard. I know, Donna. So I'm going to line this up in this corner. I know that may be hard for you to see because it is clear. And I'm lining it up at the top so that we've got, it's going to be sticking off these couple of edges. So we're going to use our scissors and trim that off. Yeah, so on this one I used all clay bits, and let me show you our options so y'all can start voting on them. Here is what I found as options for this one, and we're going to mix some together. So we've got some shiny sequins that are also kind of that color. We've got this that we're using. We've got some glass dots, or we have some stars that match this. So they kind of fit in that same color. So let's go with, let's just put in a number, 1, 2, 3. Well, we know we're using 2. So let's go, what are we going to add to this one? So let's go 1, 2, or 3. Put it in the comments for me. And then we'll make our own sequin mix. I'm going to trim this acetate off. Be careful not to cut your card. Could probably do this with something like a guillotine, but I like kind of going underneath the cardstock to make sure there's not any little edges sticking out, and I have better luck with scissors. Okay, so I see a lot of 3s. Yeah, I kind of like 3 as well. I see a decent amount of 1s. Keep on voting for me. Okay. So 1, 2, or 3. Looks like we're getting a decent amount of 1s. Got a lot of 3s. I see a few 2s. And it's going to be mixed with this. Okay. These are the acetate sheets that I'm using in case you're curious. While we continue to vote, Rachel, can you give me what you think is the winner? Because I know you can look at all the comments at the same time and I can only see as they scroll. I really think 3 is the winner. But somebody said they want to vote again for 1. Yeah, vote as many times as you want. We'll see. I feel like 3 is winning the race right here. It does match well. We got dots and we got these. So you keep on doing it. I'm going to get the base of this card ready because we're just using white, which hopefully I cut a piece of. If I didn't, I can cut one. Okay, we'll just cut us a piece of white. Sorry, I know I got those upside down. So this is 3 right here. So I'll look at it on 2, look at it on this one. So with 1, 2, or 3. Okay. All right, so let me move these out of the way. Hopefully Rachel's I think it's 3 too, Rachel. I agree, I think it's 3. I think it's gonna be these. I'll mix it with a couple different things so y'all can see the difference, but I think 3's got the win. Let me make sure this is 5.5, yeah. This is just a piece of scrap white paper that I have that's gonna be the background of this card. Okay, so. Okay, yeah, so this is gonna be our background. Now we have a couple of options. We could keep this where it is pretty flat, which would be 1 layer of double-sided adhesive, one of your general layers, which is about 2 millimeters. I think I'm gonna keep that. That's gonna keep it from, it's not gonna be doing as much of the shaker noise with that, but it will keep the card easier to mail. So this is with 2 millimeters. You see, that's about how thick 2 millimeters is. And you can move them, but they don't shake a ton. They don't shake a ton because they're a pretty good sized shaker. Or we can double it up. So how about, sorry, where's the dot for the letter I? I don't know what she's talking about, but somebody will help you. So right here, let's vote. Do we double the adhesive and have more shaking, or do we keep it easier to mail? So put easier to mail or double, and I'll decide how much of this double-sided adhesive we're going to use. I'm going to start making our separate windows as well. Two layers to move more. Okay, that's our. So I'm going to start using a couple. These are both the same thickness, but I'm going to see if I can get away with this. I think I may have to go with a smaller one. Actually, before I do that though, let's stamp. Let's do our stamp. Hang on. Sorry about that. Forgot. I need to stamp this front really quick before we get it too thick. That always happens during a live stream. Oops. Okay, so I see double, mail easier. Okay, movement. Okay, I've got a lot of doubles. So if you're a male person, then you better throw it in there. If you're a double person, vote with the doubles. Okay, keep on. All right, so we said we were gonna stamp. Let me grab this. We're gonna stamp with our cute little Happy Easter set, and we're just gonna stamp it in black. So I'm gonna put this here. We're gonna use this stamp set, which is called Tears of Cheer Easter. I'm gonna use the teeny tiny Happy Easter because it fits really nicely right here. I left room for it. And then we'll use a couple of these teeny tiny little flowers. Let's see. And you could put it up here. You could put it, I mean, you could put it in the center. You could do whatever you want to with it. But I kind of left a little room over here. See, double mail. Let's see if our little other flowers will fit. It's kind of close between that little guy's thing, so I may leave it as just happy and a flower on this one, because I think the other flowers are going to have to go up a little level, or we could do it up here. Where else? We could do it right here. Do it in the middle. Let's go right here where we had it. And I'm just going to scoot it over. Maybe if I go up a little bit on this flower, it'll work. Hang on. So once you get one thing placed well, which is hard because these things stick to you, go ahead and pick it up with your plate. Then we can work on the next one. Okay, so I'm gonna see how we could adjust this. Happy Easter's there. It's just gonna look weird on that side this time because I didn't leave enough room. So we're gonna go only on this side, which means I'm gonna put it right here. So I'm just putting it right there beside it. We'll look at how that lines up. Could always do a little bow with it, whatever you want to do. I just wanted to keep it kind of simple. And I didn't want a lot sticking up on the front so we could make our thing. Okay, Catherine says, what color is the card base? Is it a baby blue? Yes, it is. So I believe this would probably be called, in Paper Tray ink, Paper Tray may know what the base color, it probably matches one of their card stocks. So let's see if she checks that out. And then my base is going to be white. So let's do our quick stamping. I'm going to use our black ink again. This black ink is nice because it's really dark, but it also dries really fast. So especially during a live stream, it's easier for me to use this black ink. The other black ink I like is the Altenew Obsidian, but it does take a little bit longer to dry. So there we go. Happy Easter. Couple little flowers. Very easy. Now let's put it together. Yeah, it might be Aqua Mist. Okay, we're gonna make it double and we're gonna make this shake a lot and we'll see what happens. So the last one I made pretty flat with our shaker. We're gonna try doing a double this time and I'll show you the difference. Let's make some windows. And I think too, let me come up with another question and we will do the live giveaway in just a minute. How about, are you team Fun Fold or are you team Shaker? And just put that in the comments and Rachel will pick us a winner for the live stream giveaway. It's a $50 gift card to Paper Tray Ink, who is sponsoring this live stream. So tell me, is it Fun Fold? Are you team Fun Fold? Are you team Shaker? Or I guess we could even say, are you both or neither? Either one of those. Just answer in the chat so she can scroll through and pick somebody. Paper Tray did say that the color base of this is called Aqua Mist. So I may need to take my sticky mat out to get this because it does have that plastic on the back and I'm trying not to bend my cardstock too much. Sometimes my sticky mat gets a little too sticky. So I'm going to carefully pull this off so I don't bend it too much. Okay, I see a lot of Team Fun Fold. Team both, yep. Ooh, I'm having to bend it a little. I can't believe I got my sticky mat this clean. Usually doesn't stick this well. But I think it's that acetate on the back. It wants to stick to the acetate. Okay, got it off. There we go. Now, in my stamp wheel, if you ever use one of these, I keep one of the Cricut sticky mat type things that's made by Altenew in there so that I can see the grid. And then I put this clear one over it, and it helps me see the grid in this stamp wheel because I love having a grid. I tend to like to line things up really well. So I basically have a sticky mat under a sticky mat. See how you can see the grid? Friends love shakers. Okay, I see shake, shake, shake. Let's see what we got. Okay, Rachel's picked the winner. It looks like it's Anne. Awesome, Anne. Make sure that you email Paper Tray. Paper Tray, do you mind throwing your email in the chat so that they can see where to email? We're going to start making our windows with this double-sided adhesive. So let's do some cutting and chatting. Congrats. I got to get a little sip of water too. Yeah. I love them both. So I think I'm probably more team shaker than I am team, let me see if that fits along the bottom. I'm probably more team shaker than I am team fun fold, but I do love fun folds a lot. Okay, so I'm going to create 3 windows. So we're going to have to use a couple different types of double-sided adhesive because it's only thick enough to fit in between these middle parts here. I didn't cut that one quite long enough either. We'll save that one for later. You want it to go almost all the way. Okay, because we need to make sure our windows stay shut, like I said. Make sure you got it good. So I'm going to do those 2 right there, and then I'm going to double layer them in just a minute. But first we'll get all our windows built. So we're going to have to use our little bit thinner one and build our windows. You just want to make sure your double-sided adhesive is not covering up one of the windows. And we need to make sure that our windows stay shut. So you want to make sure that you don't have any gaps in between them at all. Cut that little bit. Even if you have a little piece that sticks up, like you can't cut it just right, use your fingernails and just wedge it in there so that it's all the same height. So I tend to use my fingernails and shove it in there. You see how I got it flat? Okay, this one, I went a little bit wild with that double-sided. Let's cut just a little edge off. And then we're going to close. So we're closing window number 1 here. It does take a little bit more time to make different separate windows, so hang in there with me. So we're creating our windows here, and then we'll make our sequin mix that we were talking about because I want to make sure we have enough of those. Now, when I do separate windows, it is a little bit different how I put the card together because you have to kind of plan for that. So where I even put my shaker bits on this card, you'll see are a little bit different because I've got separate windows I'm filling because you want to make sure you get enough shaker bits in each of those windows. Oh, thanks, Michelle. Thanks so much. I definitely have made more shakers in my lifetime than I have made fun folds. So I have always loved shaker cards. That's too close. So I almost covered up a window on that little flower, so I had to readjust my double-sided adhesive here. Okay, one more window to close. You see our last closing? So this is a window, and I'm going to close it here with this tape. And then we will go, to make it shake extra, we're going to go and add 1 more layer to all of these levels. So you do need to remove the adhesive backing and then attach more. But it's a lot easier the next time because you can just follow the path. So let's go ahead and remove double-sided adhesive. Backing, not the actual adhesive, just the backing. Oh, Paper Sadie says they're moving their website in May, so she'll have to tell me more about that later. That's probably just to help make it even better. Okay, so removing all this. And you see how I get like little pieces? You want to make sure your windows are staying clear. This is just a piece of that backing, but it was on my window, so I'm cleaning it off. And we're going to use some anti-static powder to keep our little sequins from sticking to the wrong place. But right now I got to remove all this double-sided adhesive. Don't y'all wish there was just a way to send it through a machine and it just removed the backing of the adhesive? I want to invent that. You don't have to sit here and peel it all off. That'd be kind of cool. Alrighty. Now, let's do our second layer. Yay, new website, Paper Tray. So I'm just going to go over these same ones. And we're just making it a double layer thick. That makes it shake more. It's going to create more drama, more noise. It will make your card a little bit thicker, so you might need to use the non-machinable stamp. I have really had no trouble with it. I use the non-machinable stamp on most of mine, most of my cards, no matter what their size is, and I really haven't had any trouble sending shakers. Sometimes I'm even kind of shocked that they make it in such good shape. So I don't think it's, I think because it's cushioned and it's still kind of mobile, that works pretty well. So you see, I don't have to make, I can go along each edge. It's a little bit faster when you're adding that second layer. Try to keep your card flat. I'm gonna go ahead and add my thicker one right here. Got a little piece already cut. So hard not to get your hands stuck to it. Oh my goodness. Hi, Susan. Glad to have you. We are working on a shaker card right now. We previously in this live stream, we've made a fun fold, and we're planning to make some fun stencil die cuts too. We're looking at new ways to use our die cuts so that we get them out and use them, because sometimes we just let them sit there and gather dust, you know, and I want to get them out and use them. And a lot of times I have grand plans for my nesting dies, and then I forget. And so I don't want y'all to do that. I want you to use them and be happy that you're getting good use out of them. So we use some nesting dies to create a beautiful fun fold that we did already. So I'll just do a quick review. We've already created this card in this live stream. And so if you are coming in late and you want to catch that, it will be on the replay. No worries. So tell me about your weekend plans. Who's crafting this weekend? You got lots of crafting going on? I'm crafting this weekend. I want to know what y'all got planned. I'm working on some cards for a May release this weekend, and I am working on my projects for the Nashville Craft Retreat. I'm going to be in person at the Nashville Craft Retreat in May, teaching on a card, actually 2 cards. So if you're going to be there, put your hands up in the comments so I can see if any of y'all are going to be at the Nashville Craft Retreat. Okay, we got 3 windows here. Yay! With double R8 adhesive. Yes, Altenews having a card drive, so I see somebody's making that. Okay, all right, so here are our 3 windows. Now, when you're doing this, you are tempted to pour your sprinkles in these windows. Don't do that. It's easier this way, I promise. First thing I need to do is make sure that I've used some anti-static powder around these edges. And I'm going to go around each window and use this anti-static powder. And this is to keep it from being sticky and keeping all of my little wonderful elements from sticking to the sides of this tape. So I'm using this one. This one is called, this is the EK Success tool, and this is the one that I use when I need a small brush. Oh, good. Good, Carrie. Oh, fun. It looks like somebody's meeting up with their friends in Wisconsin. Yeah, that's awesome. All right, and so I'm going to go around each of these windows, making sure that they're not sticky. So the way that I double check that, I usually use my fingernail and I run inside each little area, especially the corners. You want to make sure you get some anti-static powder there. You could use some other kind of powder. It's just to take the stickiness off. So right here is very sticky. So I'm going to add some more. Oh, that's nice. Making cards for neighbors who would you say snow blowed or snow blew their driveway? Oh, nice. Easter gifts for a nursing home. That's a great idea. I bet they would love a shaker card. Okay, so I've got that taken care of. You see, I've put powder. I have just a smidge powder on my windows, so I'm going to use a microfiber cloth and just make sure I don't have too much powder over a window, but not wiping it all off, just getting it clear. And now we have decided we're using this mix and this mix. So I'm going to show you what this looks like mixed up. We're going to use a little container and we'll make our mix. The other nice thing about this container is that it's easier to pour these in the right area. So let's add a little bit of stars. Okay, I'll add a little bit of these. And this is just making my own shaker mix. So I'm gonna add about a third of my pack. Probably about right. Let me see what I think about that. And then I'm going to use this piece and I'm going to line them up like where my windows are. You may have to do a little bit of messing here. And then I'm gonna, before I stick it down, I'm gonna look through. So I'm gonna try to keep it kind of in a line where that window is so that I can stick my top part over it. You get grumpy if you don't get a time to do your crafting. I agree. I do. It's like you need it just for a little bit of sanity. Okay, we'll put a little bit of those in there. Okay, and then we're going to do this section. And you see how it's got this tip? These are just from Amazon, but it just helps you kind of pour into a specific area. And you don't want to get too many so that you, like this section I think needs a little bit less. Just try to kind of keep it even. And I'll keep it mushed in so that when I put this over it, it's going to fit in that window. You see? Super exciting. All right. So I would like to know when you first saw shaker cards and what your surprise level was from 1 to 5. I thought that it was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen. When I first saw a shaker card, my surprise level was level 5. I was super excited, and I love watching people who don't get a lot of handmade cards get a shaker card because they're so excited that it makes that noise and moves around. I'm gonna add the last little bit right here. Maybe just a little bit there. There. Okay, I think we'll be good on that. So I've made my 3 sections. This section's a little bit big. I'm gonna take a few of those out. I'll keep the heart. Some of those little stars may be too much. And the reason I'm taking them out is because I know that they need to be about 1. So like if they're stacked up on top of each other, they're not going to move well in that window. So you kind of try to flatten them out a little bit so that they don't get stuck against the window top. So just kind of pat down your sprinkles. Okay, level 5. I see somebody else is a level 5. I was so excited when I saw a shaker card for the first time. I don't even know when that was, but I was like, I am going to make that. This one's a little too thick too. That top one is. So with clay sprinkles, they're a little bit thicker than other sprinkles. So sometimes you have to kind of adjust. Okay, and see how I've got these all in this window? If I lay it perfectly, they're in the window where they need to be. I think that needs to move up just a little bit just to be safe. And now I'm going to remove the adhesive and place this over it. I would not do this on a regular shaker card, but when it's got specific windows, it's easier to place it on top versus trying to get your white page correct. So if I were to come from this direction and put sprinkles in each of these and then put my white, I'm going to have to trim it up. And then a lot of times for me, it's a little bit harder to get it. So, all right. So I'm removing the adhesive backing now, and we will line it up and see how we do. Okay, I'm trying to see if anybody else had I see a few level 5s on excitement. Yes, I think it was a level 5 for sure. All right, so I'm going to try to keep my thing flat, and I'm going to try to go with these. So you will probably see the top of my head, okay? And I'm going to start from one edge and go to the next. You can tell that middle one is a little bit thick right there. Okay. The sound of success. And it's not falling out. So now we've got our little shaker. Can you hear that? I'm gonna shake it next to my microphone. I love the shaking noise. I don't know if that'll show up in my microphone or not. So we use the stars. We use our pastel sprinkles, and those mixed quite well. So let's just send it around. I'm gonna have to go. Did y'all hear? Were you able to hear me shaking it? Can you hear the shaking? I love the shaking. It's just so fun. I don't know what it is about that, but that's so fun. Tell me if y'all can hear the shaking in my microphone. Will y'all put a thumbs up if you can hear the shaking when I do it in my microphone? And the other thing about this that is so fun is, one, I love using up my little sequin mixes because I forget to use them, especially like pastel. Like Easter's perfect for pastel. But also these dyes, these are the dyes that you use for cookies. And so I just used them as an outline and it was actually so much easier than just cutting out and coloring cookies. So it just gives you more ways to play with that. So if you've got little shapes, then it's definitely worth it. Okay, y'all can hear it. So fun. I'll do the shake. All right, so anyway, good. I'm glad y'all can hear it because that's like super satisfying to me. Okay, so far in this live stream, we've made 2 interactive cards. One that you can flip open, okay? This is our more serious card. This is going to one of our community members who's having surgery. And then this one that would make any grandchild, anybody that opens this for Easter is gonna be super excited because it's just, you can't not do that. It's so much fun. Okay, so now we're gonna look at this card, which has another way to use die cut. So we're gonna look at this rooster. He's so precious, and everybody has been really excited to see him. So I'm gonna show you, this is a pretty simple card to do. We're gonna do a little bit of ink blending and cutting out this cute little rooster. So this comes from the new release of Paper Tray. Let me find him. It's called Country Rooster Die. And Country Rooster Die, we're gonna look at a couple of techniques with this that I think you're gonna love. Let me grab the colors that I used. I used clay mask, polished, and a little bit of terracotta. These 3 colors for our rooster. So if you have those, they worked really well for this color rooster. And then we're gonna use another pattern paper as our background. So we're using the, let me see if I can find it first. I feel like this is the same color background. So if that was, what did they call this color? I feel like it's very similar to this color. It's a little bit greener. I'm not sure what that base color is, but we're gonna use that as our base color because it looks so good with this orange. Very good. All right, so let's make our cute little rooster. Oh my goodness, this rooster, I love that there's not a ton of pieces, so it's pretty easy. You can just cut it out of white cardstock. I did not grab my good blending cardstock, so let me see if I've got enough scraps of it. I think I do. We're gonna have to use some scraps because I need my blending cardstock here. And I forgot to cut it out. I don't know what that one is. So what I'm doing is feeling if this is blending cardstock. So blending cardstock is smoother, and I think we'll be able, can we fit our rooster on this thing? Let's see if he'll fit. Oh, he barely fits. He will work. Okay. So I wanted my blending cardstock, and I'm just using some scraps of it because these are pretty small pieces, so it's pretty easy to use your scraps and get some good blending cardstock. So I'm gonna cut out his wing. He's got some little skinny legs, and then he's got his rooster. What is that part called of the rooster? Somebody tell me that. So we just got these pieces. Look, I basically can use a scrap piece of paper and get it done. All right, so let's cut these out of white, and then we'll do a little bit of ink blending. I'm so impressed that rooster fit. Okay. So she said that that is Aqua Mist. Oh, you're so welcome. If you have to go, don't worry. There will be a replay. I know we're going a little longer than we normally do today. Oh, it's the comb. Yes, that's right. That's terrible. That's terrible that I'm from Tennessee and couldn't remember what the top of the rooster was called. I'm gonna get my Tennessee hood revoked. I should know that. That should be like standard questions for a Tennessean. But that's okay. I have you guys to help me, so no big deal. So let me get these off here. Got our legs, my wing and my legs stuck here. And then one thing you can do, we're going to use a specific stencil for this that is part of this die set, but you can use any stencil that you want over a ink blended die cut, especially a big open thing like this rooster. It looks really good with an open space like that. And so you don't have to have the stencils, but these are adorable. Favorite blending cardstock. My favorite blending cardstock, Rachel, is Bristol Smooth. It comes in, hang on and I'll show you. I can actually tell it by feel. And I keep mass amounts on hand. Let me see if I can get that. Here. This is what I use. I keep probably 6 pads of this on hand and I use it for all of my blending. So Bristol Smooth paper, great. And you can feel the difference. So I can feel the difference in my regular white cardstock and that. So it's really nice. Highly recommend. Okay, it's time for us to get this wonderful, trusty sticky mat out. We're gonna do some blending. Let me put my dies back up or I'm gonna lose them. And we wouldn't wanna lose this adorable rooster. So I have a friend who has chickens and she would absolutely love this card. So I'm sure I will probably end up sending it to her. Okay, so let's get our blending stuff here. We're gonna put down the wing. I'm gonna just stick it all down, just kind of move it away from each other a little bit because we'll use some different colors. But we're gonna just add clay mask to start. I'm gonna get a little drink of water. Paper Tray has some great white cardstock as well. I just got there, so I hadn't gotten to try it in all the different ways yet, but it is great. So this is clay mask. Sorry, I'll put it down just a little bit so you can see that. Well, and it's covering up my thing. Here, I'll put it over here, then you can see it. So I'm just gonna do clay mask over the base. So we're gonna just color them in clay mask because I liked this color. Thought it was really nice. And it's kind of like a light orangey, yellowy color. I'm just wiping my brush off to make sure I keep it all clay mask here. And I'm just getting some color down so it's not bright white. Oh yeah, so I need to add Bristol Smooth. I use Bristol Smooth so much that I forget to add it to the supply list. So I don't know if she has that readily available to actually do a link. If she doesn't, I will add that to my next, I can adjust the supply list so that it changes once we get to the replay. Once I get off live, I can adjust it and I'll put Bristol Smooth on there from a couple places. So I just did kind of a base of clay mask and I am going to come in, I actually want to do just a little less on this guy. Let me see here. So I tend to just kind of wipe my brushes off. If you want more blending, like you want to remove a little bit of color, using a bigger brush will help. I'm just making sure I don't have a lot of orange on that brush. So this one is a little bit more concentrated because it's a smaller brush. So I want this wing to be just a little bit less. So I'm gonna kind of go over these and just make sure I got them good. Okay, and then we are going to do our little comb and our rooster feet. I think the rooster feet, I do not remember what color I used on that. I think I used macchiato on my rooster feet. We'll try it out and see what we think. Let's see what we think of this brown. Yeah, that's good. I think that's good for rooster feet. They could be orange if you wanted them to be. So I'm just going to give them a little bit of color, not doing much to those at all. And then our comb is going to be terracotta. So this is going to be a little darker. I'm going to use, which one? I'm going to use this brush. And I'll use the other one. Okay. And do just a little bit of terracotta, which is another. So clay mask, polished, and terracotta are all in the same family. So they are basically the same color, just darker. So I'm going to use terracotta, which is our darkest on the comb. It's just like a really dark orangey red. So there's our comb. Once again, don't do this on a mat that you don't want to change to pink, because this color will definitely stain your mat. Now, you can use any stencil that you want, but I'm going to be using these cute Rooster stencils. Look at these different patterns. I might even do a different pattern just so y'all can see all the patterns. So what I used originally was this one. I love these florally colors. Look at how good that looks on the Rooster. That's awesome. But it also has polka dots as an option, and it has these cute flowers as an option. Y'all want to do this one, and let's vote. I think I'm going to go. Do you want to do it in the original, which I'll call number 1, or flowers, which is number 2? The reason I like the original is that it covers more of the bird. I like that it's like all a thing. This one has a little bit more open space on it. So vote for me, 1 or 2. Do you want to do the original, which is number 1, or 2, which is the flowers? And I will get ready for that. Let me take this comb, move him on top of the terracotta so I don't lose him. And I'm going to wipe off the sticky mat a little bit, just so I don't get more color other places. Okay, number 1. Okay, it looks like the ones have it, but keep on voting for just a minute and I'll see. All righty. So 1 is this one, which is what I used originally. I really like it. And I know I've got my little bird feet here. I'm going to move them just so I don't accidentally color them the wrong color. We're going to use the next color. Okay, we're going to use the next color, which is called polished. So we used clay mask for the base. We're going to use polished for this stencil, and I'll show you how I did the wing in just a second. I'm going to use this one for polished, and we're going to get just a general color around it. Move that out of the way so y'all aren't seeing that yucky color. Look at how beautiful that is. Oh my goodness. And I'm usually not like an orange red person, but this looks nice. Oh, I love it. So I'm going to kind of come in from the sides, be a little darker on my edges and a little bit lighter in the middle. Do you see how I'm doing that? So I'm coming from the edge of the stencil and bringing the ink over and not going all the way across it. That just makes a really cool look. Okay. And so it leaves kind of this open area. We also still have a wing. Okay. So what I did is I lifted up. I've got this on the sticky mat, so I'm going to lift up part of it, and I'm going to adjust where I want my wing, and then I'm going to stencil over the wing. So you can always lift up part. Look at how good that's looking. Okay. And then our wing goes like this. How about right there? And then I'm going to stencil over the wing. Just kind of holding it in place so that the pattern matches. Okay, see how I did that? Now watch when I lift it up. Look at that. And then your wing matches perfectly. I still need to glue my wing down, but look at how cute that is. It also kind of helps you place your wing later. Oh, look at that chicken. He's so cute. He's gonna look so good with his little rooster comb. So let's adjust him and get him ready. So this stencil comes with that floral that we just did. It comes with flowers and it comes with polka dots, which is super cute. Alrighty, so let's add some glue. I'm gonna use some tweezers and we'll put this little guy together. And then I'm gonna show you how I created the rest of the card. So this is just adding to your die cuts, considering doing something like a stencil on your die cuts. So now I can add up my patterns and I can kind of line up that wing based on how the pattern is so that it matches. Oop, it helps if I don't slide it across the thing. It's the thing with glue though, sometimes you do. So here's our wing. I'm gonna go ahead and get it off the sticky mat and then add its other little parts. There's our wing. Let's add his comb. I think his comb really makes him look so cute. Oh goodness. The comb is like what would you call that? The coup de grace, I don't know what you call that. The icing on the cake. I don't know what to call it, but it's so cute. Okay, so his little comb. Right, sorry. Helps if I hold it on there. I also like that, sorry, a little too much glue right there. I also like that well, let me get a little bit more glue. How about that? I also like that it looks like a little eyeball right there. That pattern has that little dot that almost looks like it's his eye. Okay, let's try this again. Glue, take 2. Okay, look at that guy. Oh my goodness. And he's got his little legs here that we'll stick on. I'm gonna wait on the legs till we have the rest of our card built so that we know how long to make our legs. We're gonna use some nesting dies again and create the background because I love nesting dies and they're cute. So we're gonna actually ink blend on vellum and create a vellum look. So let me figure out where, for this one I'm gonna use the Reflections 1 Corinthians. I know he's so stinking cute, isn't he? I'm gonna leave him in the shot because he's so cute I can't even handle it. Oh my goodness, I don't know the last time that I thought that a die was this cute. Like I always think they're cute and they're amazing, but this guy's adorable. I'm obsessed. I don't know if he's sold out or not, but he is adorable. And he's unique. I haven't seen anything else like him. So I'm gonna cut out some vellum and we're gonna ink blend on it. And we're gonna ink blend on it just to give it a more fancy look, I guess you could say. Give it some fanciness. We're gonna use Hot Tub because it's close to that color. Let me find my vellum, which I moved out of the way earlier. Let's cut a piece of vellum here. Let's see. How about, and it can be any kind of vellum. I'm just using what I have. I'm almost out of this one actually. And I'm gonna cut this shape out of it, but I'm gonna cut down what I'm sending through the die cutting machine like usual because it just saves me a little paper. Crowning Glory. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, I don't know if he's a rooster or a hen. Somebody said he might be a hen. Okay, so we're gonna cut this one out. This is another nesting die. You could make that same fun fold card with this nesting die as well. Alrighty, so here's that one. Now you could just not worry about ink blending on it, but I'm gonna show you the difference because I think it makes a nice little detail that looks beautiful. So let me put this one back up. This is 1 Corinthians 6 die collection. Paper Tray usually makes like a set that's got the scripture It's got the die for the scripture, and then it usually has some kind of shaped nesting die that scripture also fits in. So if you're wondering why it's called the 1 Corinthians die, it's because they have that set that comes out each time. Let me show you if I can find it. Just got to figure out where I put that Bible verse one. I don't know where 1 Corinthians went. Oh, there it is. Okay. So you see that they make it so that it'll fit this. But it can be used all different kinds of ways because it's just a nesting die. So you can use it for all kinds of things. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of ink blending on this one. And the reason is we're going to use it. Look at the difference here. So you could just put it over and put your little guy on here, and that would look fine. Or you could do this. Look at the difference in those two. Hi, Judy and Angela. Thanks so much for joining. If you want to see the rest of the video, if you're just coming in, we can definitely do that. So I like the coloring of this. So I like adding color. Here's what we're going to do. We'll just take this, put it on our sticky mat, and we're going to add a little bit of ink blending to it. So most vellum, people are kind of intimidated to ink blend on it because sometimes it can get where it's not drying on the vellum. So just do very minimal blending. So, oh, thanks. Thanks, Gina. I'm so glad to have you here. So I'm going to stick my vellum here. We're going to use Hot Tub. We may go up a color if we decide we need it a little bit darker, but I think Hot Tub's going to work just fine. This is a really light blue-green color, and we're just doing plain vellum. So I'm just going to come across this. We'll see if we get enough color here. I've got the next color up if we need it, and we're going to add some ink blending. And it's just enough that, I know that sometimes it's hard to tell on here, but it's just enough that over colored cardstock, it's gonna look different. Look, do you see how that looks greener versus white? So white versus with ink blending. I know it's hard to tell the difference, but that's without ink blending. This is with ink blending. So it's just that little extra detail that I think looks very cool. So I'm gonna add some of that to it, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You're just getting some color around here. My ink pad probably needs a little bit more ink. My sticky pad is an Altenew Ultra Sticky Mat. I think that is on my supply list. I don't know if it is, Rachel. Did I put it on there? Yes. Thanks. Thanks, Reba. Awesome. Yeah, if you missed the first part of the live stream, it will be on a replay. Don't worry. It'll be there. It's just once this one ends, it goes on replay. It'll be a little while before you can see all the live chat. Let's see. We've probably got some more fun card questions. I need to know who you would send this adorable country Rooster card to, because I have several people in mind, and I'm curious if y'all do as well. Okay, let me show you what this looks like now. So barely a difference in color. I know that seems like it still looks white, but it looks different when it's on your cardstock. And you see how that's greener than just using a white. Let me find a white vellum. Here's plain vellum, okay? Here's colored vellum. Do you see the difference in those two? Isn't that cool? Yeah. Yeah, your dad. Oh, the Rooster card would be a good dad card. Yeah. Daughter, mother-in-law. Yeah, I want to send it to a friend who has a farm. She loves her chickens. Okay, so that's what that looks like. I am going to add just a little bit of depth to this cardstock by just going around it. It just gives it just a little bit of an effect. And we've already got the ink out, so we may as well just add a little bit more drama. So we'll go around it. And what would you put as the sentiment on this card? Would you put hello? Would it be a birthday card? I ended up using hello because I thought it could be kind of an anytime card, but I'm curious what you would put as your sentiment on there. Don't need to be. I'm going to reach this way. So just a little bit of drama by adding some of this to it. It's called hot tub. Sorry. Try not to reach across it, but it's just easier on my arm to go that way. Okay, so not drastic difference, but there is a difference in this, and here's the difference. Can you see the difference in those two? That's why I added the ink blending around the edges. I just like how that looks. That is an excellent, oh, Dances with Pam, just chicken in. That is an excellent sentiment. You need to like copyright that. Oh, crowing by to say hi. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's how we're going. Let's get our little cute little legs on here, and we'll look at all of our little pieces that we have. So I thought, and this is my last piece of this lace, but I liked this lace because it just feels country to me as well. It just feels like my little rooster. So I'm going to put the legs over the lace, and I'm going to put my sentiment on it. So let's get him kind of set up. I'm going to do just a little bit of foam tape on him because this lace sticks up a little bit. So let's go ahead and add some foam tape to our little chicken. Probably could use this actually. So I'm going to add some foam tape to the back of him. Just to give him just because that lace sticks up just a little bit, and I don't want him to be flatter than the lace. So I'm going to add just a little bit of height to him. Just checking in. I like, if I could just write my own sentence, I might just like handwrite that on this one. What do y'all think about my handwriting? I don't know about that. Just chicken in. Oh my goodness. I could put that on the inside so they don't have to worry about if my handwriting's not good enough. Or not. Just chicken in. We are definitely going to use that. Whoever said that, was it something Pam, right? Was it Pam? Pecking you to say. Oh yeah, hello or happy birthday. Those always work. Okay. So I know that I've got this laid out and that the vellum is not on here yet. That's okay. I need to put my feet on here, which I might trim off just a little bit. Let's see how big they are. See how tall he is. Oh, he's like the perfect height there. Perfect. So to put my little feet on, I think I'm going to use just a little strip of double-sided adhesive over it. Or just a little teeny piece of foam tape to hold the legs down. Do this with glue as well. Ooh, that's going to be hard to do. I'm going to need some tweezers. Ah, the little legs. Okay, there's one. Now I can take myself another little piece of this. He will stick up. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and stick him to this card because I want to be able to tape down the vellum behind this rooster, and I think it'll be easier to do if I've already got him placed. I'm not going to put any glue on his feet because his feet are going to go over a piece of lace, so I need to kind of leave those there. You are impeccable. That's a good one. Okay. I just have the adhesive stuck to my hand here. Sorry about that. The legs are the hardest part. Okay, so he's about the height of this, which is what we want. Okay, now look, his legs are not attached, so I can stick a piece of lace underneath there. I can slide a piece of lace under his legs, which is what I'm gonna do. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this attached to the card. So I'm gonna add some adhesive right through here so that I can attach the vellum without you seeing the vellum. Yeah. I know. I think that I think Rachel is about to have to leave while we're finishing this card up. I think she has to leave about now. So if you need links, just address it to Julie at Paper Tray, and she will try to get all that stuff for you. And of course, I will be on replay, and I will have the links and everything there. They'll be in the description. So just you know how it goes. It works. Thank you, Rachel. I know you probably have to run. I knew us doing 3 cards might be a little bit longer than our usual because it's a lot of cards. So you can rip double-sided adhesive. Sometimes on vellum though, you might risk ripping your paper. So I'm just gonna cut it to be safe. Oop, that might be a little too much. Okay, so now we've got double-sided adhesive that will hold our vellum down, and then we can add our cute little lace. So I think that I'll show you how I did the sentiment on this one, but I might just write "just chicken in" because it's hilarious. It cracked me up. Mahalo. I see Rachel. She's from Hawaii, I believe. Okay, so here we go. Let's line this up. Just gonna freehand line it up. There we go. Okay, now let's work on our piece of lace. So this lace, it actually was just in my drawer. I'm sure that you can buy it somewhere. I think I saw it on a roll from like Heidi Swap or something like that. So I'm not exactly sure where it came from. And this is the last piece of it, not on a roll. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to adhere this to the back of the card, and then I'm gonna adhere those little legs down over it so that it will stay there. So here we go. We're gonna put some double-sided adhesive on the back to stick the lace to. I love these colors too. I don't even know like why I picked these colors, but man, they feel like a country rooster to me. Sometimes you just are like, you know, I usually use a color wheel when I'm picking colors. So I know I was looking at the color wheel, but man, it came together better than I thought it was going to. It's a color combo that I don't use a lot, and I am definitely gonna start using it more. Because I usually don't think about orange all that much, but this is perfect. Okay, I'm gonna try to make sure that's even. Take off the double-sided adhesive right here. Y'all tell me, I know we're still making this 3rd card, but which of these is your favorite? Is it the fun fold, the shaker? We can go number 1, 2, or 3. Fun fold, shaker, this card, what's fun? Which one's fun? Which one's your, just get ya? Okay, there's our little lace. Trying to make it kind of even. I'm gonna put a dot. I'm gonna put a dot of glue on this little guy's feet here. And just a dot. And then I'm gonna hold it down. And so his feet go over the lace and kind of hold the lace down. Because that lace does want to curl up. So I'm gonna hold it down. Oh, thanks, Donna. Yeah, I love the vellum too. Faye says, do we really know where all our craft supplies come from? I save ribbon and stuff to use later, yes. Okay, Nancy says number 1. That fun fold was really fun. So on the original one that I made for this, I did hello, and I used the stamp set. Let me show you. I don't know if y'all have seen these from Paper Tray. It's called Hold That Thought, and it has all these different banners. I ended up using just the small one because hello fit on it so well, but it's a great set. It's called Hold That Thought. And this set has so many different banners and fun things to do your sentiments on. I could see adding something like a little bit longer one and trying to put just chicken in. Oh my goodness, that cracks me up. Okay, let me see where that stamp set is that I used the hello from. If I can locate it. Yeah. So it's from this set called This Is Big Sentiments, and I used this hello, but I colored it in with black because it wasn't showing up great on this because I used another colored cardstock. So I just colored in the hello, but I really think just checking in would look so cute. So we'll do our original, and I'm gonna put just chicken in the inside of this card. So I used, hold on, I have to get this open. I used this little banner right here, that teeny banner, and I cut it out of the same cardstock. Let me make sure I've got another piece of that. Yeah, I cut it out of this cardstock and then I stamped on it. So I'm gonna cut it, then stamp. So we'll send that through the die cutting machine. So have any of you tried the window die cutting or the windows for the shaker cards before? Or do you always do like a full panel? Yes. So, and let me answer real quick. Yes, they still have this set. Hold That Thought came out maybe last month or the month before. It is an excellent set. It may be 2 releases ago. Paper Tray may be able to answer that. I think it's in stock, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll see if Julie will answer that in the chat for us. But it's a really great one. Yes, I think the barn board, this would be perfect for this card. It's just that I wanted to put this lace on it and I couldn't quite get it to fit with my card. So I think it would be amazing. Like I think you could put the barn board like over the legs, or you could shorten the legs and put the barn board in there. It would really look nice. So Paper Tray says, yes, we have that die. This may be on my supply list. If I accidentally left it off, I'm sorry. I will get it on there, but I'm pretty sure I put that on my supply list. So I know Rachel was dropping supply list in. She may have had to go. And if she did, then maybe Julie can drop in that supply list if she's able. Okay, let's stamp our hello on here. I'm going to use this smaller stamp wheel. And you could always cut it out after you could stamp, then cut. That's fine. I just tend to like to line my stamp up on there. So it's got all these fun spring sentiments. I'm going to just use the hello. I could completely see you writing one of those funny sentiments along the bottom too. We could just write, you could, if you had good handwriting, just write just checking in right through here. I'm not sure if I could get my handwriting quite that small, but it would look really cute right there. So cute. Okay. So let's stamp hello and then I'll color it in a little bit. And I might just try out my writing and see if I could possibly fit it there. Thank you, Mimi. Yeah, you do more window shakers than full card shakers? Okay. Oh, wow. Somebody says their friend has 36 chickens. This would be perfect for her, right? I may not have, I didn't get my head in the frame too much to line that up, but don't worry. It's close enough. I'm just gonna write on a piece of paper and just see if my handwriting would fit Just Chicken In. So this is a cutout that we used earlier. Let's just see how long Just Chicken In is. And I'm gonna put dots. I'm just gonna write, I guess, in cursive. Trying to line it up. So let me see. Chicken has to be a little bit longer. Wonder if I should go backwards. No. This is just freehanding it, sorry. Just chicken in. Oops, didn't do that one great. Just chicken in. That would look really cute. I need to leave more room for my J. So you could just handwrite Just Chicken In, and look, it would fit right there. Oh man. Okay, I'm not gonna be that brave on a live stream because it makes my hand shake a little bit being on live stream. So I colored this in with this black pen just because I thought it showed up a little bit better. So you can always adjust your stamps however you want to. You could do it with an alcohol marker or whatever you want to do. I just colored it in with this black pen just because I thought it made the sentiment a little bit bolder. Oh gosh, hello, Just Checking In. That's so cute. I know that sentiment won't quite fit on this label. I need a bigger label, but I don't think the bigger label will fit on the card. I need a label more like this size to fit my handwriting on it. Huh. Why don't I just write it on, here's what I'll do. I'm gonna write it on this and we'll see what we need to do to cut it out. If I write it about this big, and then maybe I can cut it out of something. Probably need a, I'm gonna do an uppercase J. Sorry, I know this isn't the best writing. Just chicken. Well, I don't know if I needed that, but I don't know if I need that because I didn't. Just chicken in. I don't think I needed a little asterisk. Let's see if we can cut that out of something. If it'll fit. So let me see. Why don't we see? Yeah, you could just type it and print it. That's true. That's true, for sure. No big deal. And you can always catch the replay if you're having to run. And I'm thank you all for everybody who is here. I know I'm having to we're kind of brainstorming at the end here. But yes, I could print it on a printer. Sometimes I like to have my handwriting on cards because people, you know, recognize your handwriting. And even if I don't like my handwriting, you know, it is mine. And so sometimes I'm like with the cards for my kids and stuff, sometimes I'll handwrite some of the stuff because I always appreciated seeing my mom's handwriting. So I think it's fine to do either one, but yes, printing it would be a lot easier and it would look a little bit better. Just checking in. Okay, so let's see. We've got our hello. Let's see what size die might cut out Just Checking In, and we'll see what we would need. But yeah, I could print it smaller, and then I would be able to do that. Let me see if any of these dies work for my size handwriting. How about that? Yes. Thank you, Carol. Hi, Joe. Yeah, I would think it would need to be this one. Look at that. How about that for a guess of what size my handwriting is in the little thing? Okay. Hang on. I lost my hello. Let's just cut it out and we'll decide. And generally, if I was writing it, I'd probably use a different pen that was a little bit easier to get some more curliness to, but let's just cut it out. All right, let's see if I have any more questions for y'all. How many cards do you usually make a year? I was trying to think of this for me the other day. Like, how many cards do I actually make in a year? I make a lot. I'd love to know what y'all think. Okay, just chicken in. Okay, so we got 2 of those. So let's look at it with both. Move this out of the way and put this card together. And we'll be about done. So if y'all haven't seen my latest live stream prior to this, it's on nesting dies as well because I had so much fun. I just couldn't stop. Okay, so just checking in. I could stick that. He's a little wide for my, gosh, he actually kind of looks cute up here. Just checking in. Wonder if I could slip in behind that. Oh, or you could just like do them to the side. Just checking in. Let's see. Maybe here. We'll go ahead and put our hello down there. Yeah, I know. It's like I make quite a few. I would say that I make, let's think about it. Y'all and I may be completely wrong. I'm just gonna guess. I think I make probably 20 a month. 60 to 20 a month, maybe? Not 60 to 20. What the heck is that? I was looking at Reva's and she said 60. I think I make 10 to 20 a month is what I think. Okay, let's add our hello. So this is this live stream is sponsored by Paper Tray Ink, and they did a live giveaway of a $50 gift card, and they're also going to let me do a replay giveaway for $50. So make sure that if you're here and you want to watch the replay and enter there, you can also do that. Yeah, I'd like to hear how many y'all make. Tell me. Why can I not get this adhesive backing off? Somebody tell me. There we go. My hands are not working today well in this live. So I definitely make more in my head also. Hundreds, yep. Okay, so here is where I put my hello last time. And I think it could look cute with the hello just checking in. Let's see. I kind of like him up there. Maybe I need to ink blend him so he's a little bit darker and you notice it. Yeah, the chicken on the lace doesn't fit. It's a little too wide. It's like it covers up the lace. Yeah, I might need to ink blend that so that it sticks out a little bit more, maybe a little darker, and then you would notice it. But look at this chicken guy. Oh my goodness. Nice. So when you do that, so Susan, yes. So if you are looking for my videos every week, almost every single week, I have a video on Friday, whether that's a live stream or a pre-recorded video or an edited replay, something's going to happen every Friday on my channel for sure. I do occasionally do live streams, sometimes on a Tuesday, sometimes on a Saturday. In April, I'll have one on a Saturday. So I do mix it up a little bit, but I almost always have something on my channel on Fridays. If you are on my newsletter list, then make sure you get on that. I do video reminders by email. So if you want to be on that list, I'll make sure to put that in the description of the replay so that you can find me. And I would love to have you back again for a live stream. It's super fun. Let me show you all the cards that we made today in case you're coming in late. And so you can see the difference in them and decide which one is your favorite because I just have to know. So this is the one we just completed. Let me hold him up. Look at that rooster. Oh my goodness, this country guy is just adorable. Okay, this is definitely going to a friend of mine who has a lot of chickens. She will love it. And yes, it does. I do think that little handwritten sentiment is gonna probably go right here. I'm gonna ink blend it, but I'm not gonna do it on camera. Then we also made our shaker card. So we did our shaker card. We made our own custom blend of shaker pieces there. And then we stamped our Happy Easter right on here. You could add a bow. You could add something else here, but this is the double thickness. So it shakes a little bit better than the single thickness. So single thickness doesn't shake as much. These stay in the windows better, but it doesn't make as much as that shaking. So single thickness, double thickness. See the difference? Single thickness, double thickness. Okay, so this is the one that we made today, double thickness. And then we did a fun fold card. So it says, how do we enter the live stream drawing? So we did the live stream giveaway, but we will have a replay. So you need to comment on the replay, and I want you to comment 1, 2, or 3 on which of these was your favorite card. So this will be number 1. This is our fun fold. It's the first thing that we made. It's the faith card for someone in our community who's having surgery, and it's a scary surgery. So I'm going to send this to her. She will be super excited. And it just flaps open. We use nesting dies to create this simple fun fold where you can open and you get that amazing surprise. All we did was layer these folds. I put them on the back here, and we just folded it with a scoreboard so that we could create it. So we've got this one. We've got our double shaker, which is number 2. And then we have our chicken card with the handwritten just chicken in because it's so stinking cute. I'm going to probably ink blend that and let that hang off a little bit so you can see it. So all of these products are from Paper Tray Ink. And if you don't know how to spell Paper Tray, I'll put it through here. This is Paper Tray Ink. They are a small company out of Ohio. Julie is providing the giveaway today, and this is all from her new release. So make sure you check it out. My link will be in the description. It will also be in the pinned comment. So if you're going shopping today, please use my affiliate link. Okay, I see a lot of number 1s. I see a lot of number 2s. And let me see on 3. I'm looking. Okay, lots of people like the shaker. I thought for sure that number 1 would win, but I'm impressed at how many of you like the shaker. I just really like this idea for the cookie dies. It can be done. She's got other cookie sets like this too that would make great shaker cards. She's got some holiday ones, some Christmas ones. Can you see that as Christmas cookies with Christmas shakers? Yes, the Rooster is awesome. I agree. So these are the 3. So tell me 1, 2, or 3 in the comments. And then if you watch the replay, tell me 1, 2, or 3 as well, just so I know that you're on the replay. Just put #replay and tell me which one is your favorite, or tell me something fun. It doesn't matter. Just comment on the replay. And share this with your friends, especially if you've got some chicken friends that would love to do this. And I hope to see you again soon. Paper Tray, I will probably have another video for Paper Tray sometime in the next couple weeks. And I will definitely be on their next release, which will be next month. So have a great day, and I appreciate all of you being here. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I hope that you have great weather and that you get some wonderful crafting time in. So have a good day. Let me flip it back and just make sure there's no additional questions. Let me pop my face out of there. Okay, I might need to hold these up by my face too. Love that shaker one. This way you can see them kind of from a different view. All right, and then of course we got just chicken in. Or we made our own sentiment. I don't know if you can see that because I've got to hold it there. All right, well, y'all have a great day. I will see you soon, and I hope to see you again on the channel. If you hadn't done it yet, hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel so you catch these videos. Have a great day. Bye.